Long before stadium lights, award shows, and chart-topping songs, Reba McEntire dreamed of something entirely different: barrel racing. Growing up in Oklahoma, her earliest ambitions were rooted in rodeo arenas, not recording studios. She imagined herself racing around barrels at breathtaking speed, competing for championships, and living the life of a professional horsewoman. Music existed in her world, but it was simply part of family gatherings and local events, not yet a defined career path. Those early rodeo years taught her discipline, patience, and resilience. She learned how to handle pressure quietly and how to accept both wins and losses with grace. These lessons would later become essential when she entered the music industry, an environment just as competitive and unpredictable as any rodeo circuit. Even when her life shifted towards singing, that early dream never truly vanished. It simply transformed into another form of performance, another arena where courage and timing mattered just as much. Building a reputation for grace and professionalism. For more than 4 decades, Reba McEntire developed a reputation in country music that few artists ever achieve: dependable, warm, and remarkably professional. She was known not only for her powerful voice, but for her composure behind the scenes. Industry peers often described her as someone who avoided conflict, chose her words carefully, and valued long-term relationships over momentary reactions. In an industry where egos can easily overshadow collaboration, she built a career grounded in consistency and mutual respect. Fans admired her ability to remain approachable despite immense success, and colleagues appreciated her reliability during tours, recordings, and live performances. This steady image was not accidental. It was the result of years spent understanding how public perception and private conduct intertwine. Moments of vulnerability in a public career. Even the most composed public figures experience moments of vulnerability, and Reba's long journey in entertainment was no exception. Over decades of performing, recording, and appearing on television, she encountered professional disappointments, scheduling conflicts, and creative disagreements, the kinds of challenges common in any competitive field. What set her apart was the way she handled those moments quietly, rather than dramatically. Instead of responding with anger or public criticism, she often chose reflection and forward movement. This approach preserved relationships and maintained her reputation for grace, yet it also meant that many of her personal frustrations remained unseen by the public. Audiences typically saw only the polished result: a confident performer delivering heartfelt songs. Behind that image, however, existed the same emotional complexity any long-term career brings. Learning when to speak, when to stay silent, and how to protect one's well-being while continuing to grow creatively and professionally. Understanding industry challenges. Without blame, the entertainment world, including country music, operates through schedules, contracts, creative visions, and shifting priorities. Artists sometimes find themselves navigating unexpected changes or misunderstandings that are rarely as simple as they appear from the outside. Reba's career spanned eras of transformation within the industry, from traditional country roots to modern crossover appeal. Throughout these transitions, she encountered situations where decisions were made quickly or plans shifted without warning, experiences familiar to many performers. Rather than framing these events as personal attacks, she often emphasized adaptability and professionalism. This perspective allowed her to maintain working relationships and continue pursuing new opportunities. Her ability to separate emotional reaction from professional response demonstrated maturity and foresight. By focusing on growth rather than resentment, she preserved her long-term credibility and ensured that short-term obstacles did not define her broader legacy or overshadow her artistic contributions. The strength of quiet resilience. Resilience does not always appear as bold confrontation. Often it shows itself through steady endurance and thoughtful decision-making. Reba McEntire's career reflects this quieter form of strength. She consistently chose to respond to difficulties by refining her craft, expanding her creative projects, and supporting fellow artists. Instead of letting isolated challenges shape her public narrative, she redirected attention toward music, acting, and philanthropy. This approach allowed her to maintain a sense of control over her career path while avoiding unnecessary public conflict. Fans recognized this resilience not through dramatic statements, but through consistent performances and continued relevance across generations. Her ability to remain composed in moments of uncertainty became one of her most respected traits. Balancing public image and personal truth. Public figures often walk a delicate line between authenticity and privacy, and Reba mastered this balance over time. She shared enough of her personality to feel relatable, yet kept certain experiences personal, understanding that constant exposure can blur boundaries. Maintaining this balance required self-awareness and emotional intelligence, especially in an industry that thrives on headlines and speculation. By choosing when to open up and when to remain reserved, she preserved both her mental well-being and professional focus. This balance also allowed her to evolve artistically without feeling confined by external expectations. Audiences continued to see her as genuine because her openness felt intentional rather than forced. The ability to manage visibility without losing individuality is a rare skill, and it contributed significantly to her longevity. Legacy built on consistency and connection. Reba McEntire's lasting influence stems less from isolated moments and more from decades of consistent connection with audiences. Her songs often explored themes of love, perseverance, heartbreak, and hope, universal emotions that resonated across generations. She cultivated loyalty not by chasing trends but by staying true to her voice and values. Concerts became shared experiences where fans felt seen and understood, reinforcing a bond that extended beyond music charts. This enduring connection proved that longevity in entertainment is not solely about popularity. It is about trust built over time. Each album, performance, and appearance added another layer to a legacy grounded in sincerity. By focusing on meaningful storytelling and authentic delivery, she ensured her work remained relevant even as the industry evolved. Her influence illustrates how sustained dedication and emotional honesty can create a career that feels timeless rather than temporary. Growth through change and reinvention. Throughout her career, Reba demonstrated a willingness to adapt creatively while preserving her core identity. She explored acting roles, television appearances, and collaborations that broadened her reach beyond traditional country music audiences. Reinvention did not mean abandoning her roots. Instead, it meant expanding them thoughtfully. This openness to new challenges kept her career dynamic and prevented stagnation. Each new venture revealed different facets of her talent while reinforcing the qualities fans already admired: warmth, professionalism, and emotional authenticity. Reinvention requires courage because it involves stepping into unfamiliar territory, Yet Reba approached these transitions with measured confidence. By embracing change rather than resisting it, she modeled how artists can remain relevant without sacrificing integrity. Her journey shows that evolution is not about chasing novelty, but about exploring growth opportunities that align with personal values and creative curiosity. The power of dignity in public life. One of the most defining aspects of Reba McEntire's public presence has been her commitment to dignity. In an industry often fueled by controversy and rapid opinion shifts, she consistently prioritized respect and constructive dialogue. This choice did not make her immune to challenges, but it allowed her to navigate them without compromising her principles. Dignity, in her case, became both shield and compass, protecting her reputation while guiding professional decisions. Audiences and colleagues alike recognized this steadiness, which reinforced trust and admiration. Maintaining dignity does not imply avoidance of truth. Rather, it reflects a conscious decision to express truth with care and responsibility. Her example illustrates that public influence can be exercised without harshness or spectacle. By valuing kindness and accountability, she demonstrated that strength and gentleness are not opposites, but complementary qualities that can coexist effectively in high-visibility careers. A lasting example of quiet strength. Reba McEntire's journey from a young girl dreaming of barrel racing to an international music icon reflects more than talent. It represents perseverance, adaptability, and thoughtful self-awareness. Her story highlights how success is rarely a straight path and how composure can be as powerful as bold declaration. Through changing trends, personal growth, and professional challenges, she maintained a sense of identity rooted in authenticity and respect. Her influence extends beyond music into broader lessons about resilience and grace in public life. Rather than being defined by isolated moments, her legacy is shaped by decades of steady dedication and meaningful connection with audiences. In a world that often rewards noise, her career stands as proof that quiet strength, consistent effort, and sincere artistry can leave an impact that endures far longer than temporary headlines or passing controversies.